What's up, YouTube? I apologize. I've been MIA. I haven't posted anything in a while. Last thing we did was, of course, we were playing through Oblivion. Work got kind of crazy, so I had to step back from streaming for a little bit. But we're back at it. Excuse my. I literally got off work not too long ago. Got home and I was like, you know what? I ain't done it in a while. I feel like doing it, so we're gonna do it. Okay. What we're looking at today is something called Ascension WoW. Okay. And what Ascension WoW is it is a it's a private server, and it is World of Warcraft, right? However, it is not your typical World of Warcraft server. It's a private server, and it is okay. Let me do this. 1 second, y'all. It's not on there. There we go. Let me do this right here. Okay, it's not your typical World of Warcraft server. This is a private server, okay? And if you've played World of Warcraft or you know anything about World of Warcraft, you know, it was an MMO launched back by Blizzard, I want to say around the early 2000s. Because I remember my dad played vanilla WoW back when it first launched. Okay? Now, instead of you having your typical, warrior, mage, shaman, whatever, like you do in normal World of Warcraft, you actually have something called quote-unquote classless WoW. Now, what does that mean? So, classless WoW, as Ascension does it, and I'll just go ahead and pull this up and show you. You go in here and you can pick literally talents and spells from any of the classes that was available in Burning Crusade. You choose your primary stat, and you have your talents loaded out right here. This shows all the talents you invest in, and these are all your spells that you use. Okay, I'm going to walk you through what I have and what I use, and then I'm going to show you something called a Mystic Enchant. And these are like, if you played Vanilla WoW, I'm sure you're aware of like glyphs. It's essentially the same idea, if that makes sense. Okay. So, what we're playing is a dual wielding melee DPS, which is what I built. Me and my buddy created this build. Okay, and we use Titan's Grip. This allows me to wield two-handed weapons. Alright. We use Curse of Exhaustion, which I mainly use that for like PvP. Psychic Core, Shadow Step, Bloodthirst. I have a revive spell for when I'm in like PvE running dungeons. Hemorrhage, Blade Storm, Riptide, Shattering Throw, Blessing of Kings, Blessing of Might, Wind Fury, Aspect of the Beast, Berserker Rage, Bloodlust, Blood Rage, Battle Stance, Whirlwind, Curse of Weakness, Mark of the Wild, Demoralizing Shout, Commanding Shout, Devotion Aura, Frost Nova, Bloodbath. We have Defensive Stance, Charge, Blessing Mastery, Stance Mastery, Shout Mastery, Weapon Enhancement, Avatar, Advanced Finishing Move Mastery, Paladin Aura, and Colossus Smash. Okay. These are the talents I run. I've got 5 in Dual Wield, 3 in Armor to the Teeth, 2 in Wrecking Crew, 3 in Hunter vs. Wild, 2 in Blood Frenzy, 3 in Deadliness, 3 in Sinister Calling, 3 in Honor Among Thieves, 3 in Two-Handed Weapon Specialization, 2 in Impale, 5 in another dual wield specialization, 3 in Quick Reflexes, 3 in Anger Management, 5 in Enrage, 3 in Shredding Blows, 2 in Cruelty, 3 in Two-Handed Weapon Specialization again, Sword Specialization, and Electricity. Okay? Now, Mystic Enchants, you have 1 Legendary, and this is what your build is kind of centralized around. You have Fury of the Titans. So what this does is my maximum rage is increased to 300. I learn Titanic Strike, and when I use it full rage, it makes me enter Titanic Fury, and it cannot be refreshed when it ends. My rage is lost, okay? And this is built around combo points. So at 5 points, I'm doing 125% weapon damage, okay? Now, you have Titanic Finale. This is a epic mystic enchant. You got 3 purples that you throw in to support this. And it allows my rogue moves, they have a 20% chance per combo point to trigger Blood Rage. This, while I'm above 50% rage, I receive 5% melee haste. While below 50% rage, I receive 3% critical strike chance. And then I have Warbreaker, which is, if I know Colossus Smash, it morphs into Warbreaker, which is stomps the ground. I deal 130% weapon damage, plus 44 to nearby targets, and it ignores armor and weakens their defenses, allowing for my attacks to bypass 30% of their armor for 10 seconds. Super big in PvP. We also have Natural Born Fighter, Strength and Faith, Hot-Headed. We have 3 Sinister Calling enchants, 1 Dual Wield Specialization, 1 Precision. We have 3 Demonic Hemorrhages, 1 Sharp Mind, and 1 Cold Rage, okay? I'll go ahead, I'll show you, these are my stats right here. It shows my primary stat is Strength, okay, and my PvP set is on right now. So this is my PvP armor. I'm at 372, and I have an average item level of 149.47. No, I'm not capped, but I'm pretty decent, okay. 846 Strength, 799 Stamina. I'm averaging 1193 and to 1376, and I have 119 haste, which gets me up to 2.36 and 2.50 for my attack speed, and I have 2,840 attack power. Now you think my hit rating is low, right? But I'm sitting at 13.50%, but 4% is only required to hit a player, and 14% is required to never miss a raid boss. My offhand hit is 24-21, which I'm sitting at 13.5. My critical strike chance is 44.33%. Okay, now I'm missing a couple of stones that I need. I'm working on fixing that. Of course, we don't worry about ranged. We're a melee build, and we're not worried about spell. My defense, my armor's off the charts. Well, off the charts for melee. But I have a 2% dodge rating, 8% parry rating, and 455 resilience. This is something that you want to pay attention to when you're doing PvP. Alright, now, I'm just going to load in. Now, here's the thing. When you're doing this game, resilience really and PvP sets only matter if you're doing mythic content, mythic and raids. If you wear Bloodforged gear in mythic and raids, you receive a debuff, okay? So I'm gonna try, wrong button. I'm gonna try and load into just a random dungeon, okay? And I'm DPS, so that generally takes a second. But as you can see, this is the last one that I did last. I think it was a heroic dungeon. I was averaging 7k a second. Show you here. This is the sword that I'm working on getting fitted out with enchantments and sockets, and it's just going to be absolutely disgusting when I finish it. It improves my critical strike by 40, my haste by 31, my attack power by 117, my armor penetration by 28, and my resilience by 16. Okay. So, these are the buffs that we're going to run. Of course, we're going to run Devotion Aura right here. That gives me 600 additional armor to me and my party members, and we operate in battle stance. And it gives increases the armor penetration of all my attacks, physical attacks, by 10%, and gives my rend damage over time a chance to critically hit. I don't really run rend, but we do have shit in there in the build where I cause bleed damage and it can critically hit. Okay. We have Commanding Shout. We have Aspect of the Beast, which increases my melee attack power by 5%. We have Blessing of Might, Mark of the Wild, and we have Demoralizing Shout. We also use Wind Fury weapon. This is one of the main things you want to pay attention to if you decide to try and run this build. If you see it and you like what I've done here. Wind Fury weapon, what it does is it imbues my weapon with Wind Fury, and it gives it a physical hit. It has a 20% chance of dealing additional damage equal to 2 extra attacks, dealing 100% weapon damage with 445 extra attack power. It lasts for 2 hours and cannot occur more than once every 2 seconds. So, there we go. The other option that we could have went with, let's see, Rock Biter. It's a Rock Biter weapon. It increases my attack power by, it'd be more because it's not leveled up. But is doubled for two-handed weapons. Okay, if you look at my character, your attack power, let's see here if I can show you. Your attack power increases your damage with your melee weapons by 200, by however much. It depends upon, by 202.9 damage per second. And it's at 2,840, and that's with 942 off just my stats from my gear, plus my enchants and my sockets. So we'll try and get into one. Generally on these like regular dungeons, you can go in here and you absolutely just nuke everything. Okay, it's hard for the tank to maintain threat, and the healer really doesn't have to struggle bust or worry about nothing. I have taken this threat, which it's not a big, flex or nothing. I have taken this to like Citadel, and at Citadel I have actually ran the whole dungeon by myself, no healer needed. So hopefully we get in here and get into one. Let's see, maybe I can get into a heroic one a little easier. So we just queued up for the heroic. So let's see what we can get. I will say, if you do decide to play and give this a shot, so you don't, if you've never done this before and you're kind of new to this private server, they do offer pre-made builds where you go in there and you say, yeah, I want to try this build out, and it'll automatically like teach you the spells you need to learn. It'll also lay out like what your rotation should be. It'll lay out like what weapons and armor you need to wear. All of that stuff. Okay. Let me get rid of that because we did get a bind the last deal that I did. Let me look here. Let's see here. Defensive stats. Get rid of defensive stance because we're not dealing with that. I would also recommend you get Portal Mastery like once. So you go from 1 to 70, right? Because this is Burning Crusade. Once you hit 70, you can start monkeying around and editing your stuff. I would recommend getting Portal Mastery just because you can go to your major cities and learn it, whether you're a Horde or Alliance. It don't matter. It just makes getting around so much easier instead of, taking portals, instead of taking, flight pass and just, running around everywhere. It makes life so much easier. Okay? Let's see here, what can I... Here should be warrior. We're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get a rock batter weapon. Move this over to here. Alright, so Now then, let's see here. Let's see here. Wind Fury on that one, and this one. Let's see, where's my book at? Okay. And Fury. We'll do Rock Rider on that one. Okay. So with that Rock Rider, you see my attack power just went up to 3,453. So I'm wanting to teleport out to Shatrath, which is the main hub in the Outlands. So over here in the Eastern Kingdoms in Kalimdor, you have to either ride a ground mount or you have to take a flight path. Out here in the Outlands, you can fly. That is an option. Okay, now then. Let's see here. Okay. Shots. Better. Strength and agility. 5% armor. Would battle shot be better? Strength. Okay, that's why. Okay. And that already increases my strength and agility. Okay. Alright, so we need a tank and a healer. That's the other thing. If you want instant dungeon queues, be a tank or a healer. So how this works is I'm not going to just pop my cooldowns, because that's if I go into a boss fight, right? Like if I'm doing a raid or it's a mythic whatever dungeon and we're just getting creamed. Pop Avatar, which you deal 15% increased physical damage and you take 20% less damage. Alright, and then you pop Bloodlust, which increases your melee range and attack speed by 30%. And you charge in here, and I have macro set up, so I charge, and then it'll pop up Curse of Weakness and Curse of Exhaustion, which decreases their attack power and decreases their movement speed. And then you use Hemorrhage to build combo points. And you alternate between Hemorrhage and Bloodthirst. Okay. And then you use all 5 combo points and hit Titanic Strike. Now, if you've got a group together, you're going to hit Colossus Smash. And that'll or I'm sorry, you'll hit, Colossus Smash Warbreaker. And that'll do some AoE damage, or if that is on cooldown, you can pop Bloodbath and then go into Blade Storm, and that will do your AoE damage as well. We also have Whirlwind in here as a little filler. Now, I have Shadow Step just as mainly for PvP, because it lets me be a little bit more mobile. Because let me tell you something, being melee DPS in PvP, if you don't have a healer in your group that you know or that you play with on the regular, it can get a little rough. Okay. For defensives, we can pop Riptide and then go straight into an ice block, so you're getting healed while you're hiding in ice. We have Psychic Core for crowd control, and then mainly again for like PvP, I can Frost Nova people. We have Berserker Rage to have a CC break, so like if I get feared or something, I can pop that, or I can pop my Medallion of the Horde and it removes those effects. And then of course I just keep Greater Heal on me just in case, mainly again for PvP. This is mainly like a single target build. For what we do, because again I mainly PvP. I'm just going to show y'all how it performs like in a PvP in a PvE environment. Now, one thing they have changed in this game is you actually have to, if you want to do like a higher level like PvP stuff, you have to go get PvP materials, which are farmed in what called high risk. So if you can get up with a couple of buddies, or you join a guild and they're active doing PvP farms and stuff, you go out there, you enter mercenary mode, and you go out with your buddies and you farm stuff called crow caches, which has it's like a chest, and you loot gear, and you have one guy opening the chest and then a whole bunch of guys around them protecting them. You also have oh, here we go. Come on, tank. Let's go. Alright, I'm about to show y'all how this gets down. Okay. Now, this one, I'm not going to just walk through here and mollywop everything like I would in a regular dungeon, but I still will be able to, do mass deeps. So, let's see here. Charge in here. Right here, you see the combo points building up. Go ahead and get my loot ball out. Alright. So, I didn't even pop none of my cooldowns. And you can see, just running my single target stuff, we're maintaining. Now, let's do something a little crazier. Oh, damn. That's not good. And we died because our healer died. Yay. Let me do this right here. Throw my buffs back on. Pretty cake. And I'll leave that back out. Alright, so yeah, we got a guy in here who hasn't fully tested out his build yet, so he thinks he's pulling threat away from the tank. That's possible. The great thing about this game is you don't know. Like, and you can run this on the the target dummies and everything, and everything could be fine and dandy, but you won't really know until you actually like put yourself in a situation like this where you actually can test how things are actually going to go. don't need none of this mess. Here we go. Bam, and look at that shit. 30K a second. That's the one thing I will say that I love about this build. It's just so daggum bursty. Yeah, I didn't get out of the shit in time. That's on me. No. Let's see, get my loot bot out. Here we go. Alright, and bam. Alright, we should be coming up on the boss. Alright, final boss right here in shadow. There you go. Alright, so that's with my PvP gear that I have on. Alright. See here. Did I get anything decent? No. That's the sword I'm working on boosting up. Alright. Let's go talk to the call board. They have daily call board quests, PVE and PvP oriented. Let's see here. There we go. Let's see here. What did I loot? know if either one of those are good. Let's see here. Put on my PVE set. Yeah, that's mythic. Yeah, I'm not switching it out. Mythic, not mythic. Mythic. And you can see my stuff actually drops. My damage drops a lot. My attack power drops. Everything drops. But again, it's just because I don't do PVE like I do PvP. You know, but that's just part of it. Let's see here, it should be 120. Yeah. That's probably one of my favorite swords I've ever looted, the Twin Blade of the Phoenix. I think the best weapon, let's see here. Blade of Misfortune is probably a good one that I enjoy. Brutalizer was a good one. Axe of the Legion. And the thing I do like about this, like, it is so easy. Well, I don't want to say easy, but it's easier, I will say, to get mogs. Alright, now for doing this, you know, not only do you get, like, if you do, say, like a regular quest, right, you'll get dungeon spoils, right, but if you do the cardboard quest, you'll also get that little cache, and you can open it up and you can get, you know, stuff like that, which at the very least you can vendor it and make some money, you know what I'm saying? So So there you go. Let's see. PvP is more of the, like, thing, I guess you could say. on this server. As far as like, you know, what I guess you could say people play. Let's just see. 428, 435. $1978. Yeah. I still got to get all my red sockets and everything. Which honor do I have? 20,000. See if I can go get some red stones. Alright, strength is 964. Attack power is 3011. So resilience rating. Let's see if I can push my strength up. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Let's see here. There we go. Now it just needs an enchant. Let me look here. So I need that overpowering void flow enchant. Is what I really need. Oh, I'm so close to 1,000. Dang. This is the other thing. So in this game, when it comes to PvP items, like you have the items, of course, that the vendor sells, but you can get stuff called Bloodforged or even Heroic Bloodforged, and you can loot these when you're out doing that mercenary thing I was telling you about, or you can even get them off the auction house. And what they do is they basically take the let me change this over to PvP set and save it. Yes. You take like PVE items and you can blood forge it and make it PvP. And that is the strat for a lot of people, because a lot of these like PVE items, they give you a set base. Right? So like mine, it gives me a set base to like momentum, increase my armor penetration by 2% for 12 seconds, and it stacks up to 10 times. So I can get 20% armor penetration for 12 seconds. Let's see here. You can also do something called prestiging. Prestiging is where you take a tune, you lower it back down to 1. You keep all your gear, you keep all your stuff, and you keep all your professions and stuff, and you level it back up to 70. And it allows you to unlock like enchants if you don't want to pay for them and stuff like that. And leveling up in this game is stupid easy. Stupid easy. Another thing they've unlocked, you can actually know more than like one profession. So like I know blacksmithing, mining, jewel crafting, enchanting, and alchemy. Okay? I think I even know herbalism, I'm pretty sure. That's one of the things you can do. They also have a mechanic in here called rest. And so, like, if you're out, like, you're questing, you're leveling up your tune, and say you don't have, like, food or anything to, you know, you don't have any food or drink to heal, you can rest, and it does it for you. So, like, if I enter rest now, see, I'm healing 500 every second, and my mana just caught back up. Every tune on this server, it doesn't matter if you're playing like melee, it doesn't matter if you're playing ranged. You get a rage bar, energy bar, and mana, which again, that allows you to use all these different spells and talents from all these different classes or specs, I should say, whatever. So if you like it, give it a chance. I like playing this server. I will tell you this, and this is the only downside I have about this server, is if you say you want to get into like you're hardcore into like PVE, right? Or you're hardcore into PvP. Sometimes I will say the community on here can be a little gate-kept, if you will, because even though Ascension has all these like different builds, right? Here, I'll just log out and I'll go to a different tune, right? One that I'm still like jacking with. The builds are okay, but some of them aren't the best. Does that make sense? Like they aren't optimized for what you're trying to do. Okay? Melee DPS in battlefields is good, but like I said, you need to have a healer that can run with you. It makes your life a whole lot better. Okay? So let's see here. Professor X. Yeah, sure. And this will show you like kind of like the leveling process, right? So come here. This is the build that I'm working with now. It's called Shadow Flame Occultist. And this is one of the pre-made builds that Ascension has came up with. So right here it shows you, you know, what your legendary enchant does, your epics, your all this stuff, right? Down here, the spell and talents. Okay, it goes into like what like your stat priority should be. Tells you while you're leveling, look for spell power and intellect. Use a staff. This shows you all the spells you're going to end up learning. This shows you all the mystic enchants that you're going to get. And you see how it says like collected? It means that I have that in my library. Once you learn a mystic enchant, it doesn't matter on what tune you're on, it's in your mystic enchant library forever. So if you decide to create another tune down the road and you don't want to do the build that they have, and you know what enchant you want to run with, you know all that stuff, then you can build it on your own. If you don't have it, this can give you access to them, right? And this shows you your armor that you're supposed to wear and your staves, okay? But this is based loosely like off of a warlock with like some mage sprinkled in. And it's really like what's the word I'm looking for? It's basically kind of like a Destro lock. I'm sorry. Yeah, Destro lock meets like a Shadow Priest and Shadow Priest and a Destro lock kind of merged together. And a way you can kind of tell where it's going is when you look at your legendary, which is like the main thing your thing's built around. It increases the duration of your Shadow Flame ability by 6 seconds and Power Clouds by 5 seconds. While it's active, your Shadow Bolt and Unstable Affliction deal 25% increased damage. In addition, your critical hits from Corruption and Unstable Affliction grant a stack of Shadowborn and Flameborn. Shadowborn increases the damage of your next Shadow Burn by 25% and stacks it to 4 times. Your Flameborn, your next Conflag has a 50% increased critical hit chance, and your Shadow Flame deals 18% increased damage, stacked to 4 times. So, there you go. The other cool thing too is, I don't think I have them on here. Yeah. So, this thing, it has Vanity is what it's called. And you have heirlooms, so you can get, you know, plate, cloth, whatever, that's geared toward your tune, if that makes sense. And it'll help you level up and do what you need to do. I haven't really played this one that much. I'm not a big like caster or ranged DPS player. I've always mained up on a melee just because I like to be in the thick of it. I like to have a giant sword and, you know, be like Sinbad met like Captain Jack Sparrow, like, you know what I mean? So, but they have builds for every kind of build you want to do. Like I have a ranged caster right here. I have a hunter type build right here. Wait, I lied. This is my tank. I lied. I think this is my hunter. Like I said, they have a bunch of different... This is my hunter. They have a bunch of different builds, whatever you want to do. So, if you're looking for a free-to-play, mind you, free-to-play private server that is World of Warcraft, you know, you're tired of playing retail, this is a good one to check out. It has that... Sorry. It has that World of Warcraft feel. You know, you're getting to play through Burning Crusade and all the content. But it also has enough on it to make it its own entity. Of course, you know, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope y'all liked it. Next video, I'll probably show you my ranged caster, which is this little dude right here. I love this Joker. He's fun. I don't play him a lot, but he is fun. And dude, he's a pimp. I'll even show you my tank, which is this guy right here. Now, believe it or not, if you played vanilla, there was I can't remember if it was a raid. I think it was a raid where your mage had to almost act like the tank during one of the mechanic interactions. This is what this dude does. He has a little bubble that goes over the top of him. He wears cloth armor, and he runs in there with cloth armor, and he can tank a whole dungeon. Right? Most people think of cloth like squishy, like healer, or like a caster. And they melt when they get hit. Not this Joker. So, if y'all enjoyed it, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to display it for y'all. If y'all have any questions, comments, leave it on the video, and I will get back with y'all as soon as I can, and hopefully go into a little bit more detail and be a little bit more prepared than I was this time. As always, thank you for coming in and hanging out, watching the video if you watch it later. We appreciate it. Don't forget to share it with your friends, subscribe, and I hope y'all have a wonderful and blessed day.